You're listening to the Adventure Sports Podcast. Thanks for adventuring with us as we discover what incredible athletes and outdoor enthusiasts are doing all over the world. Now here's your host, Kurt Linville.
Hey friends, today I have Cody Taylor with us. He is fairly new to his sport, which is trail running and very aggressive through hiking, self-supported. He holds some self-supported records. We're going to talk about all of that. But what I really like about what he wants to share today is that he is going to help us to understand how we can get into a new sport like this, how it is doable if you've never done anything like it. It's a journey that you too can take that he recently took. Cody, welcome to the program.
Yeah, thank you so much for the opportunity. This is a blast.
I love it. So first of all, a little background. Where are you from?
I'm from Cornwall, Ontario, so I'm in Canada, and I'm right in between Montreal and Ottawa, and I'm right on the border of the states. So my training grounds is actually the Adirondacks in New York, upstate New York.
Oh, very cool. And where do you hang your pack these days? Same place?
Yeah, no, Cornwall this is where I live, and I've been here. I kind of grew up just 30 minutes down the road in more of a country setting, but yeah, Cornwall's my home, and probably will be my home for a while. Honestly, I love it here.
Oh, that's fantastic. It's always good to like where you are. I think that matters a lot.
Well, you know, it's like I used to do a lot of traveling with my band, and I remember like when I was on tour, I was going coast to coast in the States, and I was like in LA, and I was in these big cities, and I just like I realized with a lot of people that like, you know, if you're in a big city, you kind of like you're caught up in this like you get so like involved with all these things that are going on, and life just passes by like that. And I like if I could slow things down a little bit, you know what I mean? I'm all for it. So what I like about Cornwall is that we're close to everything. If I want to get to a big city, we're an hour away from everything. My training grounds are just a couple hours away, and it's a small town, small vibe. It kind of brings the energy a little bit lower. So it's just like, for me, it's a nice way to kind of really relax and be able to enjoy my life. So that's what it's all about.
Well, it could be argued that if you live a little bit more slowly, you kind of get the effect of living longer.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So.
As long as you're enjoying it, right?
Yes, sir.
I'm all over that.
Sir.
The thing that bothers me is when life becomes so repetitive that you don't remember a week later where you were or what you did, you know, a week ago. Yeah. It's like it all just blends in together, and that's when we need to check ourselves.
Yeah,
when
absolutely.
life gets like that, that's when we need to say, wait a minute, is this how I want to spend my days?
Well,
so
and
you decided to do something different a few years ago.
Yes, sir.
And the end result of that is that now you have some self-supported trail records.
Yes, sir.
How did that come about? Let's hear it.
Well, I mean, so I'll start right from the beginning, but I used to be a drummer. Like, I play drums still. And that was my dream my entire life. And then I went from, like, playing local club shows to, like, all of a sudden touring with a band and creating our own music, and we got to play major festivals. Like I got to play after Def Leppard and play in front of thousands of people, and I was really I had these opportunities, and it was a lot of fun, man. I had a blast doing it. I really learned a lot about myself, how to be an entrepreneur, because you know we're marketing, we're promoting our band, you know. So I did that. Then the pandemic hit, and I realized how fragile the music scene was. And that's whenever I started running. And I kind of like, whenever I started running, I talked about this on another podcast not long ago, but like what I loved about running and how simple running is that, and like, I'm an adrenaline junkie. Like obviously there's a lot of people like that, like me. And like whenever I was playing in front of thousands of people, like that was an adrenaline rush. And then whenever I started running in the pandemic, I'm like, then I started tapping into like this adrenaline rush. Like I was getting on stage, and I'm like, wow, I could do this any day of the week. And, you know, with music, it's like I had to work really hard. There had to be things to line up in a perfect situation for me to play in these major festivals. And it doesn't happen all the time, you know? And the amount of work and the amount of preparation that goes into being in a band, it's like it was just a lot harder than just going out, lacing up, and just get out the door and go for a run. So it was running just became my thing. And then like I went from like not being able to run 5 kilometers in beginning of 2020 to like running 40 kilometers in a couple of months. And like, as you'll see with my story, it's like everything I kind of do, it's like an all in mentality. And, you know, it's like, there's pros and cons to it, you know, like obviously, the cons would be like, I'm very, singular focused, But, it's like it could be a good thing because whenever you're singular focused, it's like you could really reach to the top quick because you're all in with that. Yeah. So I did it with music. I did it with my HVAC company. I ran a heating and cooling company for about 5 years. Like, because I was in the trade since I was 16. Like, that's gas fitting and refrigeration for those that don't know, HVAC. And then whenever I started sharing my journey, then I got into like online coaching. So like now me and my wife, we run this company called New Normal, and we help people. We help people just like, get in better shape. It's an accountability thing. So that's what we do now. But then, so then I went from, I started running, and then like what I did, which I always did, it's like I always reached out to the guys that were doing it. And so I reached out to this guy named Ray Zahab. And if you guys don't know Ray Zahab, I highly recommend you search him up. This guy is a legend in the endurance world. And I ended up reaching out to him, and it was a quick chat. And then next thing you know, in 4 or 5 months, I ran the Atacama Desert with him in Chile. We did like a 7-day expedition together with a few other people, and that's whenever he introduced the idea to me with doing these unsupported adventures. So I just want to correct you with that too, because like there's supported, there's self-supported, then there's unsupported. So self-supported is like you could have drop boxes, you could have like bags where it's like you pick up nutrition, and then that way it's just like your backpack's lighter. And then unsupported is basically carrying all your gear right from start, right to the finish, and camping on trail and not being able to stop at stores and pick up resupplies or anything. So there's a little bit of a difference there, but it doesn't really matter.
That's a nuance worth knowing. Unsupported meaning you start with what you finish with, except for what you eat along the way, essentially, right?
Yes, sir. So whenever I started these trails, my backpack would weigh pretty close to 55 pounds. And then every day it would lose 2.5 pounds because I'd be going through my nutrition. So by the end of the 2-week adventure, I'd be down to like my base weight, which was like 15 pounds. So that's what unsupported is.
Okay. Well, I've interviewed a lot of people who claim self-support. Unsupport kind of takes it to the next level because you have to start with a heavier pack.
Yeah, and it's like this is why having a coach or having a mentor, this is what was really game-changing for me, because like I started running and I was like, oh, I'm going to become a really good runner. Like, just the way I am, I'm very confident stuff. I'm like, I want to get podium in these races. But like reality is that I'm not that great of a runner. It's like I have a big engine, but I'm not the fastest runner. And whenever I went to Atacama, like Ray saw that from me. He saw that like, I have a big engine, I have a big heart, and he knew I could do some big things. So that's whenever he introduced the idea of unsupported. And, unsupported, it's the reason why there's not a lot of unsupported records is that, like, whenever I did the IAT, I was the only one that's ever done it unsupported. And the Bruce Trail, there was only one record that I had to break. So, like, whenever he introduced this idea to me, it's just like, it's not common because it's so friggin' hard. You know what I mean? And, like, you do have to be strong and you have to be tough. Like, I'll kind of dive into some of the stories for what happened on the Bruce Trail, but like, whenever you got 50 some pounds in your back, it's like, that's a lot of weight. There's a lot of things that could go wrong. So it's just about being resilient and, adapting and overcoming these obstacles. And you learn so much, man. Like, I had no experience going to the Bruce Trail. 900 kilometers is the longest trail in Canada, and I had no experience going into it and just learned on trail. So yeah.
Hey, let's talk a little bit about these trails, because I told you right before I hit record, I had to look these up, and I've talked to a lot of people about a lot of trails over the years, and so these are new to me. Maybe they'll be new to the listeners. First, the IAT. I thought, well, I know what the AT is, what this I business, and I didn't even know that this was a thing, but people around the globe have started working together, kind of in an extension of the Appalachian Trail concept. They've started working together to make trails in other countries, in other places, and it's the International Appalachian Trail.
Yes, sir.
And the trail, what first started it was like, let's go past Canada on into Canada, right? And that was the beginning of what became the larger IAT consortium. But the section that you did of the IAT, describe it to us.
Well, it was the Quebec version of the IAT, and if I'm not mistaken, The Quebec, the version that I did was the first discovered trail out of the IAT, like the International Appalachian Trails.
Yep.
Did you see that? Did you read that?
That sounds right. Yeah.
Yeah. I just don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure I saw that somewhere. So that was pretty cool. Little. It's because it's the GRA1, so I believe it's the first one. But anyways, it ran from Matapedia all the way to the Gaspé Peninsula, and it ran through the Chic-Choc Mountains. So.
And how long is that trail?
It was 650 kilometers with 85,000 feet of climbing. So basically like climbing Mount Everest 3 times.
Yeah, that's amazing. We were just comparing it to the Colorado Trail and realized that they're similar trails. They're not the same, but they're similar trails in verts and distance and all that kind of thing. So that might give people context for it. It's a major undertaking, and you completed that trail unsupported, not self-supported, unsupported. How long did it take you?
13 days, 4 hours, 30 minutes. This trail, man, it's like the reason why it was so hard too is that it's not a super well-traveled trail in a lot of areas. So like there was a lot of bushwhacking too. So it's like there was a lot of times where I had no idea if I was on trail or not. So I was using my phone with Gaia Maps and just navigating like a lot because like on the Bruce Trail, like whenever I did that in Toronto, like out in close to Toronto there, it's like that was a really well marked trail. It kind of made it feel like a highway. And then I get out on the International Appalachian Trail, and that really felt like a true adventure. Like there was times where I would go 4 or 5 days without seeing a person. So it was it was pretty cool.
I talked to some of the people that take care of the Continental Divide Trail.
Yeah, cool.
And I've interviewed a lot of thru hikers that have done that one, and it's the granddaddy. You know, the Appalachian Trail has its claims to fame, and then the Pacific Crest Trail has its claims to fame. But it's the Continental Divide Trail. They said they doubt that any two people have ever walked the exact same route.
Yeah. So yeah, it's so wild.
It's so much navigation and connecting the dots and sorting it out and options as well. Like, well, I could go this way and I go over 14, or I could go this way and I won't. You know, so which way do I want to go? And it sounds like the IAT is going to be similar to that. Lots of navigation and sorting it out.
Yeah, you know, it's funny actually. So there was a couple of times where I did get lost, and I'm like, you know what? Like, it is what it is. I got the job done. And then I remember whenever I submitted it to the FKT website, the girl that like was looking it over really kind of like looked through a magnifying glass, and she like saw the times where I was off trail, and she actually came back and was like, what happened here? What happened there? And this is the first time. I mean, I only got 2 FKTs. I got the Bruce Trail and I got the IAT, and I was just expecting like, oh, submit it. It's gonna give me a green flag. Like everything's gonna be fine. But then she came back to me with these questions. Is like, then my heart started racing. You know, you do all this work, like, and at the end of the day, it doesn't matter, FKT or no FKT. I learned so much up on the trail. Like, it doesn't matter. But it's like, you know, you go that far, and it's just like it'd be really nice to get the FKT, right? And anyway, so it was funny. I just had to explain what happened, and you know, but it's all good. Like I got it done. It's not like I took shortcuts. That's for sure. It's just because like sometimes like the trail would lead me to another direction, and I don't know, like. I don't know what happened, but like, you know, it is what it is. So got it done.
Well, that's kind of the funny thing. By the way, what is an FKT for people who don't know?
Fastest known time. So I mean, I call it
time.
Yeah, I call it course record. I call it FKT. It's like I don't like, some people call it world records. I don't like calling it world record, but it's fast known time. That's where we're kind of logging in all this information, and that's where we're kind of getting the proof sort of thing, is the FKT website, fast known time.
Yeah,
website.
We've done a lot of episodes about FKTs, but it's kind of a term that not everybody knows. But once you kind of get into it, it's like, oh, there are all these things I could do and see if I could do it faster than anyone has, as far as we know. Right?
Yeah, exactly. And you know, like the FKT website, like it used to be, from what my understanding, like it was only on the big trails, the biggest, like more like the biggest trails that everyone knew about. But now it's like it's starting to become a website where it's just like you could get an FKT on like a 2-mile track or whatever, you know. So like some of the true adventurers, some of the true, like the old school FKT athletes, like some of them are kind of a little bit bitter about it now, which is like, you know what, I talked to my wife about this. It's like, if it's going to get you excited about doing a little project or get you in shape or whatever it is, it's like, so what then? You know what I mean? I think it's all good. I'm all for it, man. So it's like, that's where I'm at with it. So,
Yeah, yeah. So on the IAT, in the end, did they say, yeah, it is the fastest known time? Or did they say, nope, you're off trail, try again?
no, they gave it to me. Yeah, no, I got it. I just had to explain I just had to explain what happened and stuff. But,
Right.
and yeah, it's like now it's like, I mean, it's funny because it's like fast known time. I call it first known time because like it was the first time that someone has, from our understanding, has done it unsupported, like in the fashion that I did. So it was tough, man. Like I'll be honest with you, man. I'll be honest with you. Like I was very, very lucky. I actually had 2 weeks of nothing but sun. It was really hot. It had its own challenges because I had no groundwater to filter from. I'd go 6 to 8 hours without drinking water.
Wow. Okay.
And then chafing was like a real issue because it was so hot. But if it was raining, like a lot of these climbs that I was doing, one thing I was saying to my wife is like, it wasn't like rocky in a lot of these climbs. It was dirt. So it's like if it was raining hard, it would have been like mudslides. And
Oh, yeah.
basically a mudslide with 50 pounds or 45 pounds or whatever the weight is of the backpack at the time, like going downhill like that, like it could be really dangerous. So I was very, very fortunate. And that's why I really think this IAT, like the record I just got, I'll probably hold it for a little while because of that. Because the Bruce Trail, like I had that record for a year. Then the guy that had the previous record, Jameson Hatt, I always give him a shout out on these podcasts because he's helped me out with a lot of these projects. He got the record back, and it was a beautiful story. He lost his dad right before going out, and then he went out and got it done, and so I'm very happy for him. And yeah, man, that's it.
That's awesome. So I want to do the Bruce Trail as well, but let's spend a little bit more time on the IAT, and the reason is because I want people to get a feel for what it is that you've actually accomplished here. It's real easy to say, well, you know, the IAT, it's 85,000 feet of climbing, it's 650 kilometers, and I did it in 13 days, 4 hours, and 30 minutes. But that doesn't tell us what it felt like. First of all, let's break it down. How far were you going each day?
I think it ended up averaging was like 55 kilometers, which is like, it doesn't sound like a lot, but again, man, it's like the climbing, the navigation, whenever you do things unsupported, like you have to take care of your body. You got to stop, you got to air out your feet. You got to like take care of the things that could be a problem. It could be an issue down the road. So, doing it supported, whenever you have a crew and you got no weight on your back, it's like, yeah, you could rip it pretty quick. But whenever you start off with 55 pounds and, you got blisters that are starting to happen on your feet, like you got to be smart and you got to stop and you got to take your time and you got to be patient. And that's the biggest thing with a trail like that. It was really hard, man, and like there was more moose than people. Like I saw a moose out there, and you have to be very careful about that. I don't listen to music. I couldn't because it could be very dangerous. Like I ran right into a moose basically, and it was like 50 feet away from me, and it was like a bull moose, and this hair was standing on the back of its neck. Like it's like it's scary, yeah, man. So it's like it's scary. It could be very scary in some situations. So it's like you just got to be very, very aware, very prepared, and it's like, yeah, I know you're right though. It's like it sounds like, oh, I could do that, but it's really hard. It's really tough.
Don't be so quick there, because you know that your reference point is talking about ultra marathoners who might do 100 miles in a day. But what you did at that distance, 55 kilometers, we're talking about, doing a marathon plus maybe 5 more miles.
It's an ultra marathon every day. Yeah.
Yeah, with a 50-pound pack on your back.
Yeah.
That's no small feat, dude. Not many people would take that on. Doing a marathon is one thing. Doing a marathon 2 days in a row. Now put a weight on your back. Now do that for 2 weeks. I mean, yeah, dude, that was awesome.
Yeah.
Have you ever gone through all the hassles of getting on the plane, security, luggage, long waits at the airport, all that kind of stuff, and then when you finally arrive at your destination, not only are you worn out, but you also might feel a little bit disconnected. I know that I do when I hopscotch around the planet on a plane. That's one of the reasons why I love the great American road trips where you get to drive from one place to another and connect all of those dots. You get to experience the changes in the terrain and the weather and the people and the communities. This is one reason that I am excited to present to you our new sponsor, Outdoorsy. Outdoorsy offers a different way to travel. With Outdoorsy, you can rent an RV or a camper and turn the drive into part of the vacation on your schedule with your people and with way more flexibility. Listen, most trips focus on getting somewhere. Outdoorsy is about the part in between. With Outdoorsy, you can rent an RV or a camper and travel on your own terms. No TSA lines, no strict schedules, no rushing through airports. And for extra convenience, Outdoorsy even offers RV delivery and setup in many locations, so you can enjoy the experience without having to worry about the logistics. Outdoorsy connects travelers with trusted RV owners across the country, making it easy to find a rig that fits your style and budget, and I might add, that also fits with the people and the pets that you want to take with you. So when you're ready for a trip that actually feels like a break, head to Outdoorsy.com. Outdoorsy is currently running a special promotion for listeners. Use the promo code ASP at checkout to take advantage of this limited time offer. That's Outdoorsy.com, promo code ASP.
I really appreciate it, man. That's why, you know what? That's why I try to reach out to you guys, like all these podcasts, because I do like sharing the story. I like for people to realize that, like, you know, if I could do it, like anyone could do it, sort of thing. Like I'm nothing special, you know. I just work really hard and I enjoy the adventure and I enjoy being outdoors, you know, and that's what it's all about. It's like you learn a lot about yourself, especially whenever you're 2 weeks like alone. You know, I don't see anyone for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Like I don't talk to anyone or anything. It's like, so it's an incredible feeling, man. It's just like you get back home and chocolate tastes a little sweeter, sort of thing, you know.
I like that. Well said. Chocolate tastes a little sweeter. You know, we spent 5 weeks in Kenya 30 years ago, and when I got back home and I sat down on a padded chair, that's what shocked me. It was like, exactly. A padded chair.
Yeah. I mean, like, so whenever I sleep at night, a lot of people bring like a mattress of some sort. Like I actually just bring the closed cell phone mat. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's just like, and I just sleep on that, like with the sleeping bag. So I don't even bring a sleeping bag I don't bring a sleeping mat or anything, like a blow up one. So it's like I'm a back sleeper, so I could make that work, and it's just lighter. Like whenever it comes to unsupported, you're really trying to like dial in the weight and it all, because, you know, like I'm also like, I got to carry battery banks, I got to charge my phone, I got to charge my Garmin InReach
so
and stuff.
Heavy.
So it's like, yeah, so it's like, you know what I mean? So I'm trying to really, and I'm still learning, man. I'm still trying to dial in the weight. Like my next trail I'm doing, I'm actually going to be doing a bit of a switch on my nutrition, because like both my last adventures, my nutrition was 2.5 pounds a day, but like my buddy Jameson he's been kind of like, you know, he's telling me, he's like, you could get your nutrition down to like under 2 pounds and still get 4,000 calories. So it's like a lot of macadamia nuts and a lot of like that kind of stuff. So it's like, it's going to be a bit of a switch with my nutrition this year, but thankfully I'm pretty good with the nutrition. Like I have a pretty good stomach with this stuff. But one thing that's really important too, like people don't understand, is like getting fiber. You really got to get fiber in you whenever you're out on these trails, because you got to go to the bathroom. Like I did a trail with Jameson there. It was a 2-day adventure, and like I was like, oh, I'm going to pack like an idiot and like just pack 10,000 calories and get all the food that I really love, you know, cookies and candies and this and that. And man, I remember like by day 2, I was like so backed up, and I felt I was so uncomfortable, and I was like, you know what I mean? I'm like, man, never again. Like you gotta eat good food. Like it's like we eat good food every day. It's like you like fuel, nutrition's fuel. It's like, so why do that to yourself whenever you're doing these runs or these adventures? Like,
well, that's really important.
For sure,
Cody, what people often don't think about, I've talked to a lot of athletes about race day. What do you eat? And most people will say something like, well, you should eat like you always eat, as much as you can.
Yeah.
But when you're doing a backpacking trip, you can't carry the weight. You can't carry what you would normally eat the way you know, every day. Yeah. So you have to really spend some time on it.
Yeah.
And when you're trying to be a long-distance backpacker at high speeds and unsupported, I mean, that's when it gets really critical. So what
Yeah.
did you do for food? Any advice for people?
Yeah,
You can't just do freeze-dried the whole way through.
No. So I did one dehydrated meal a night. I was big on like Larabars. So I was like, if you're gonna do like a bar, being able to read the ingredients on the bar. So the Larabar is like 3-4 ingredients. If you do a Cliff Bar, it's like you can't even read half the ingredients, and like that sits like a rock in your stomach. Like I could tell the bars that are not that good for you whenever I'm doing these adventures, because they do not sit well in my stomach. But if you eat a Larabar, it's like made out of dates and nuts and like, you know what I mean? Sometimes dark chocolate chips or whatever, but like most times it's like it's 3-4 ingredients, you know? So I was doing a lot of that. Like the last trail I just did, I packed, because like I do like candy, and sometimes a little bit of candy is nice on trail. So I packed 8 singular fuzzy peaches a day. So like not like a lot of candy, just 8 singular pieces, you know, and then pepperoni, like to get a bit of fats in me too. Like what else? Yeah, what else? I'm trying to think now. Anyways, yeah, there's just more just food that like, you know, that makes sense, and that, like I said, that you could read the ingredients on. That's all I gotta say. It's like if you're gonna do anything, just do that. And what I like about the Larabars is that like they are high in fiber. So it's like, you know, I would wake up every morning and it was like clockwork. I would go to the bathroom right away and just go to the bathroom once. Like I was very, very regular, both on the Bruce Trail and the IAT. And I think that's super, super important, man, because if you're not going to the bathroom...
you can't keep going.
No,
Eventually,
dude.
you're in trouble.
Yeah, for sure. Exactly. So...
Yeah, that's pretty cool. You know, it's funny that you mentioned the Larabars. When I climbed Kilimanjaro a couple weeks back, we would take breaks on the night climb. You climb overnight. We would take breaks, and they would say, have a bite of food, have a sip of water, and we're going again. Super, super short breaks. And so I started a Larabar at about, I'm going to call it 15,000 feet. I took one bite. I summited on the same Larabar, a 7-hour climb to 19,000 feet, and it's like, oh, I got a bite. There's lunch. Oh, I got a bite. There's dinner.
Hey, man, good for you for doing that. That's amazing.
But it was funny because it was a Larabar, 3 bites. That's what we get in 7 hours climbing that mountain.
You know, this is a story too. Like I want to mention just so I don't forget, but like the body's capable of doing a lot of things. And on the Bruce Trail, this is a crazy story actually. So on the Bruce Trail, the first 4 or 5 days, my coach told me, whatever you don't eat, throw it out. I'm like, okay, so no problem. So like I fatten up before I do these adventures. First 5 days, I'm throwing out a lot of food. Then I get to the back half of the adventure, and I realize in the last 200 kilometers, I'm like, holy crap, I'm running out of food. So the last 100 miles, I basically had a pocket full of pepperoni and 2 Larabars, and I did the last 100 miles with a 50-hour push with no sleep, just a couple of dirt naps, and basically no food. And I ended up losing like 30 pounds. So it's like... Wow. Yeah, it was a very, and that was like, again, it was just my first adventure. I was learning out there, so it's like that was a mistake that I did not make again on the IAT. Right. So it's like, you know, I don't care about that extra little bit of weight. It's like, dude, nutrition is everything. Like the Bruce Trail, like the fact that I got that done, it was wild. Like, you know, the hallucinations were there. It's like it was crazy that I even got it done. But you know, it's like, it is crazy. The human body could do a lot, man. It's like we're able to do a lot of things, you know. I remember I called my wife whenever I got towards the end of the Bruce Trail. I'm like, I'm running out of food, man. I'm like, I was freaking out, stressing out. And you know, she told me, she's like, you know, back in the day when people used to go out and hunt for their food, like they would go out starving, you know, and sometimes they would go days without eating. So it's like, you know, that was kind of like made me realize like this has been going on for a lot of years. Like, you know, if they could do it, like I can do it, sort of thing. So I don't recommend it. Like it definitely took a little while for me to you know, get better, but like, you know, gain that weight back and stuff. But like, anyways, it was crazy, crazy story.
Well, I would say to people, going without food is hard. Going without water is dangerous.
Exactly, and I didn't go without water. Like water is for sure something. And like on the IAT, like that was something though. Like I did go hours without drinking water, but I still drank water. And like whenever I would find water, I would put in as much as I can, sort of thing, fill up my bottles, and then I would have it for a while. But there was definitely sections where like I would always keep like half a 500 ml of a bottle of water on me, sort of thing. So like let's just say 250 milliliters of water in total, always. And like that was like basically just in case, because like if I was to eat a bar and I start choking and I wasn't going, because like whenever you're doing these adventures, like sometimes it can be hard to eat, so it's like you need the water to kind of put it down.
Right.
And you know, if you're eating on trail and you don't have any water and you start choking, it could be really dangerous. So it's like I always made sure I had water on me. But I would sometimes go 6 hours, close to 8 hours, with like not taking a sip of my bottle because like I couldn't even find water on the ground. Like that could be sometimes the dangerous thing about it being so hot out, you know. So
Sure. Well, Cody, I want to share this one because I found that it's very, very effective, and it may work great for you. It may not, but I forget who it was that told me this. It was so many years back, but it was on the podcast, and a thru hiker shared this recipe, and it really, really works. So the idea is you get a nut butter that you love, peanut butter, almond butter, tahini. I mean, whatever it is, your favorite nut butter that you can tolerate well. And you put about 50-50 nut butter and regular butter together, because that just blows up the calories.
yeah,
And then you put water in it, and you have to stir it for a long time until it kind of becomes a squeezable, right?
okay.
You put it in a squeeze tube, but then you can also, which I think helps, you put just a little bit of something sweet in it, not a lot.
Like honey or something.
It could be honey, it could be molasses, it could be syrup, it could be a little bit of jelly, but it doesn't take much, just to make it a little bit more of an energy punch. And you put it in a squeeze tube. I have hiked 7 hours on just a few squeezes off of that tube.
Wow, that's incredible.
Because it has so many calories, it's so energizing. Anyway, I have found it to be, it's lightweight, but it's so calorie dense. And it may not work for everybody.
So get a nut butter, add butter, like make your own squeeze tube, but like add butter to it, and then add a bit of honey or syrup or whatever.
Yeah, and you have to mix enough water in it so that you can.
Do you have
right.
a nut butter? Because I never actually really tried that stuff. Do you have a nut butter that you prefer, that you like?
Everyone has to figure that out for themselves. Some people are allergic
What do you
to
like?
peanut
What do you
butter,
like?
right? I think almond butter would be my
Almond
first
butter?
choice. I like almond butter.
I'm taking note of that right now. So I'm gonna try that.
I mean, it really does work. And you mess around with the recipe until you get it the way you love it, right? You got to enjoy it. But
Yeah.
I found it easy to take while you're going because it's squeezable. You don't have to chew it, you know?
Yeah.
You just squeeze and gulp and you're good to go. And
Yeah.
anyway, so trail nutrition, I think we kind of beat that one for a while, but it's an important part of this.
Absolutely. I mean, nutrition and hydration is everything. It's like whenever I was on the IAT, I remember. So the first day was crazy. I'll just tell you another quick story too about that on the first day.
We love stories.
Yeah, exactly. So I started off with these trekking poles, and these trekking poles I actually did the whole Bruce Trail with it, plus the training for the Bruce Trail, plus the training for the IAT.
Okay.
Then I get on the IAT, and first 6 hours of the friggin' trail, the pole goes between my legs, and I snap the pole. Oh. And I'm going unsupported, and I can't stop at a store. I can't get a pole. I can't get new poles. And so I literally have a panic attack first like 6 hours. I'm like, oh my God, like what, 85,000 feet of climbing, you need two poles, you know?
Yeah.
So anyways, I ended up finding this stick that this logger cut, thank God. And it was like way up higher than my face there. I ended up breaking the end, got it up to like my eye level. And it stuck with me the entire trail. I still have the stick. It's on my wall, actually.
Oh, yeah. You fall in love with the stick.
Oh, yeah. And that stick was like 10 times the weight as my trekking pole, but it stuck with me. It was live wood, so it wasn't dead wood, so it stuck with me the entire way. And yeah, I went from my eye level all the way down to like under my chin because it was like dragging on the trail the whole time. but anyways, what I was going to say about that day of nutrition was that, so right after that moment, I'm freaking out, find the stick, you know what I mean? I'm like still stressed about it. I'm like, I got this freaking stick that's 10 times heavier than my pole and whatever. And then it was like, I ended up falling down this ditch and like very close to like hurting myself really badly. I fell down like 6 feet. Actually, yeah, this is another thing I forgot. The backpack got caught in the tree. And ended up like I fell down the ditch. The backpack got caught in the tree. It was choking me.
Oh no!
And then I'm like hanging there. I'm like trying to hit the friggin' buckle, but the buckle's so tight on my skin. Finally hit the buckle. Put my arms up. Fell through the backpack down to the ditch. Tried getting up the ditch. got up there finally, like all full of scrapes and bruises and stuff. And then I grabbed my backpack and then I started doing this climb. And then all of a sudden my legs started like spazzing and they were like going crazy. And I'm like, I couldn't even climb for a second. I'm like, oh my God. Then in that split second, I'm like, did I train hard enough for this, you know? And then all I did was I went back to the little river that I walked by and I filtered water, put a whole pack of element down in one shot. Then I was good to go and I kept climbing and I was fine. So it's nutrition, hydration, it's everything. And another quick story before I forget too, on the IAT, so day 2, the whole IAT adventure went flawless. It really did. But the first 2 days were really tough. The second day, in the morning, I go to filter water. I take my backpack off. And on the first few days, it's a real chore taking off your backpack, putting it back on. It's 50 some pounds. It's a chore. So I take my backpack off, filter the water, put it back on, hike up the trail. I'm going up this hill, and then like 15 feet down, like up the trail, I look and there's a tree that went across the trail, like fell across the trail. So I was being a little lazy, kept my backpack on. I climb over the tree, put my foot over over the like on this branch, and I put my weight on the branch, and then my foot, like the branch broke.
Oh no.
And I ended up cutting my leg. I'm just going to show you real quick. I know listeners probably can't see it, but I still got the scar on my leg.
Dude.
So
that's major.
I ended up having this scar that was like, this was on day 2 on a 2-week expedition. And I'm like, I was freaking out because it was really bad. And you only bring so many supplies with, like, you know, when it comes to medical stuff. So I'm like ripping through all my medical stuff within the first day, and I still got like 2 weeks to go, you know? So I went through the whole adventure. Like every night I'd go to bed, I'd wake up in the morning. I was wearing merino wool, like pants and shirt because it got down to like single digits at night because I was up in the mountains.
Yep.
And like I remember every morning I'd take off my pants and rip the scab right off my skin, like every day. So anyways, like by day, I think it was like day 8 or day 9, I had like 200 kilometers left. I looked down at the cut, and it looked super infected. And I'm like, I start freaking out. So I finally get service on my phone. I send the picture to my wife. My wife, her uncle's a doctor and stuff, and she was actually out in the East Coast and she was staying with them. So she showed she saw the picture and she's like, oh my God. And I just dropped down. I'm like, my adventure's over. I'm like, I'm done, you know? And like I was freaking out. And then she showed it to the doctor. Then the doctor said like, oh, it actually looks good. It looks like you took good care of it. So like, you know, just congratulate him, telling me just keep it clean and keep going. And I'm like, that was the biggest win. I'm like, I remember putting my hands up and I'm like yelling in these trails by myself, you know, like, yeah, it was a crazy.
Keep going.
Yeah, it was
another marathon today.
Yeah, but like it was just like, you know, you go so far, you put in such a big effort, and I'm like, you know, you train. The thing is with these big adventures that this is the only thing I'm doing all year. It's like, so It's like all the strength training, all the preparation, the money you invest in with the nutrition, the time and everything, and then it's like you get taken out because of a stupid thing like that where I didn't feel like taking my backpack off climbing over a tree.
It's always the little thing, man.
You know what I mean? So it's like it was just it was one of those where I was like, anyways, like this is just funny because the scar's still on my leg and I don't think it's going anywhere. Like it was a lot bigger it was a bigger deal than I thought it was, you know. At the time I was like, oh, it's just a cut, but then like it was pretty deep, and like whenever you're moving that long, sweating all day long, exposed like to just dirt and everything, it's like it's not giving it the time to heal. So yeah, that was quite a wild journey.
Wow. So Cody, what's your why? Why do you do this? I mean, and it might be changing. Probably is.
For sure, 100%.
As you do more of it. But what's your why?
Yeah, that's a great question, man. Like, honestly, like I gotta admit, when I first was doing this, I was trying to build a reputation. I was trying to build a name. I was trying to build a business, you know? And like, whenever I first started doing the running, it's like I was sharing my journey, trying to inspire people, because like when I was doing the music too, like it was just like, I just wanted people to be passionate about whatever they're doing in life. And like that was kind of like, you know, as much as I love playing music and I like playing with bands and stuff, like that was kind of like my end goal. Is like I just wanted to be an inspiration and stuff. And then I got into running, and I'm like, I started pushing the runs. And then whenever I was like announced I'm doing the Bruce Trail, the 900 kilometers, like, you know, it's like before even doing it, it's just like I was doing it because I just wanted to motivate people, sort of thing. But then after I did the Bruce Trail, then it became much more than that. Then it was just like, okay, no, like this is like really actually changing me as a person. It makes you just appreciate everything in life, you know, like just a friggin' bottle of water right here. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's just like something
Yeah.
I could actually just grab from the tap. It's everything, man. It's like it's just having a conversation with you. You know, it's like I really get to just appreciate the fine things in life, and I'm like that's what it's all about for me now. It's like I find when I go out and do these adventures, I just come back and I'm just appreciating everything more and more and more. Like just sleep in my own bed, having my own home, you know, being with my wife since I was 16. I'm 33 now. Like just appreciating all these things more and more. Like my relationships got better with my friends and family. And that's what it's all about now. So yeah, at first it was about maybe the, you know what I mean? In a way, like I don't like saying it, but it's just the reality. I was doing it for the popularity, I guess, you know, and to try and you know, inspire people. But then like I'm still growing, man. I'm still maturing. Like I'm still like becoming, you know, like you said, my why, it's always changing. And like doing these adventures made me grow up quick, you know? So like now it's like it's much more than that. It's like and that's what I'm saying. Even the FKT, like before the Bruce Trails, like it was all about the FKT, getting the FKT. Now it's not about the FKT. Like it's much more than that, you know. So
I think there's a progression when we do adventures. People do change their why. I've
yeah,
noticed
absolutely.
that a lot, and it's almost always moves in a really healthy direction.
For sure, man, absolutely.
You
Like
know,
I just said, like I'm very honest about it. You know, I was doing it for you know what I mean, for people to be like, "Who's this guy?" But like now, it's like I don't
ooh,
care
he
about
did
that.
something.
Yeah, but now it's like, who cares, man? There's so many people doing cool stuff. Like your whole podcast, I was looking at all the people in your Google Drive. I'm like, why am I even on here? Like these people are incredible people, you know. So it's like it's just you know that's why I'm super honored to be able to come here and share my story because yeah, man, it's just like I'm just a regular dude, and it's like if I could do it, anyone could do these things. And if it's not this, it's like you could do anything and just take it to the next level. You know what I mean? And that's what it's all about. It's just about like being passionate about whatever you do in life, and just yeah, man, going all in with it. You know? So
Well, in the end, I think it's not really a competition. I
no,
mean,
it's
there are
not.
races, you know, we
Yeah,
compete with ourselves, but in the end, it always turns into something more along the lines of this feels so healthy. I love who I am when I'm out here.
yeah,
I love what I learn. I love coming home and realizing that is going to carry me
yeah,
in tough times. And
yeah,
it also makes you a leader, whether you know it or not. When you get in a situation where the sufferfest begins,
yeah.
then people start looking to you because you know how to suffer.
Yeah, no, for
You
sure.
know
I
how
mean,
to,
like, I,
you
I
know?
literally built, so after the Bruce Trail, I built my whole online, because I was an in-person trainer. And then, like, I got into the online coaching. And, like, after the Bruce Trail, I had a lot of people following me and following my journey. And, like, we built our business like that because it was, like, people, like, now all of a sudden, I'm literally coaching people on how to run 100 miles. And I just got into sport a couple years ago. You know what I mean? So it's like,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's because I put myself in these situations and I've learned on trail and like, and you know, and I'm very honest. Like I tell these people, I'm like, I won't get you podium, but I'll get you like to finish your first 100-mile race, and like I know what it takes to get there. So it's like that. That's why it's like you know, I think walking the walk, like you know what I mean. If you're gonna be a coach, it's like you gotta be doing the things, or at least have the experience
Oh,
from
yeah,
the
yeah.
past. You know what I mean? So, anyways, yeah,
Well, let's talk about the Bruce Trail. You know,
yes,
we
sir,
kind of beat the IAT for a while there, which
yes,
was
sir.
awesome. But what is the Bruce Trail?
The Bruce Trail, it runs from Niagara all the way to Tobermory, and it's a 900-kilometer trail, and it's I think it was around since
So
1962.
540 miles.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And then it was it was discovered I think in 1962 or 1967. But it is so well maintained. There's so many people volunteering, and like you can navigate that trail in the middle of the night. You can navigate that trail anytime, winter, summer, whatever. And there's all kinds of trailblazers everywhere. Very easy trail to navigate, but it was a beautiful experience. And like if you look on the map, you're like, oh, it just runs through cities and stuff, but it's really weird. It's like it kind of runs on like this little mountain range that like runs through the cities, and then it kind of gets out to like more like areas where it's just like it's very remote and stuff. But in the beginning, it's just like it looks like it runs right through the city, but it actually doesn't. It's actually like its own little trail, like
Well, that's cool.
200 feet up in the air. It's really cool, man. It's really cool. And it was a very, very good first trail to, you know what I mean, get your toes wet on. Because like it's like if anything was to happen, it's like if I was to hurt myself, it's like I could just go down to the bottom of the trail and then just like get help, you know? Whenever the IAT, it's like there was areas where I would have to get airlifted because there's nothing around, you know?
Right,
So,
sure.
yeah. Yeah, but it was just it was a fun experience. The most beautiful part of the Bruce Trail, if anyone wants to go, even if they don't do the whole hike, Tobermory, man. Tobermory was the it's up north. Gorgeous trail, and the river around it. It's the Hudson River, I believe. It's a clear water, like you're out in the Bahamas. And there's rattlesnakes. You gotta be careful with that too. Like I actually hit my rattlesnake with my pole, which is super crazy. We wouldn't think there's rattlesnakes up north like
That's
that.
pretty
in
far
Canada.
north.
I know, right? But there's
Yeah.
rattlesnakes up there, and black bears. There's black bears too, and stuff. So there's still a lot of wildlife, and it's a really cool experience. But yeah, the Bruce Trail. So yeah, that was a cool experience. And then like I said, the last 50 hours I pushed with no sleep and stuff, and then I finished. This was what was crazy about that too. Is like that whole Tobermory section. Like anyone that knows that trail knows how difficult the grotto and all that section is of the trail. And I did that in the middle of the night on
Wow.
day two with no sleep and no food. So like I remember whenever I was trying to navigate that, I'm navigating these rock beaches and I'm like no idea where I'm going. Like it was really really a crazy experience. And I only beat the record by like well I beat it by 5 hours, but like it was a real fight to the finish. Then I remember saying to myself like okay Code, like either I set up tent and I play it safe and not get the FKT, or I push and you know whatever happens, but I'll maybe get the FKT. And so I did the push, did the final push, got the FKT, and it was a crazy experience. But like it just, you know, one thing I do enjoy about doing these big things, these big adventures, is that like it makes, because it's so hard, it makes everything else in life that much easier. So it's like if you go out and do a 5 kilometer run, you know, some days you just don't feel like doing a run or going to the gym to get a workout in. Well, it's like you remember those moments of how hard it can be, and then it's just like, okay, like I could suffer for 30 minutes or an hour here, you know what I mean? So,
Right.
yeah.
You say it's so hard. People can imagine, but if they've never done it, is there a way that you can relate to us how hard that really is?
Oh man, that's a great question. I don't even no. I don't even know. Like it's something because like I've ran 100-mile races before. I've done a lot of hard stuff, and then like you know you do something like that. It's like it's not so much the distance. It's not so much enduring the pain or like whatever. It's like it's the being alone for that long too. You know, like on the Bruce Trail. I remember on day 7, I literally had a panic attack. I'm like, I got on the phone with my wife, and I'm like, thank God I had service there, and I'm like. And I was like, I started like, wasn't even able to make sense. My vision started closing because that was my first time. I never even, like, I bought all my gear like 5 weekends before the Bruce Trail. Like, I had no experience with this stuff.
Wow.
Yeah, so I had like 5 weekends where I went out and did a couple like one-nighters. And then I scoped out the Tobermory section. So that was my first multi-day adventure. I did like 4 days, 3 nights. And then I just went for it. So whenever I got to day 7, I was like, I just started freaking out. I started panicking, and I'm like, I didn't even like, cause I was just like, I'm so far into this. I'm like, there's no turning back now. I'm like, I don't know what it was. I was like, I had like a moment of weakness for sure, and I'm like, so yeah, there's nothing that I could really relate it to. Honestly, it's just like, but then whenever I went out and did the IAT, the amount of confidence I had knowing that I could move for that long. It's like now I know I could do these things and I could do it for, you know, for a long time, you know, as long as the body could keep, as long as I got nutrition and hydration, I keep going. But like, I guess if you like for any thru hiker, anyone that's done multiple days, like, you know, you might be able to understand and appreciate what I did. But anyone that's never done like a thru hiker, never like camped out on trail and being solo and being unsupported, yeah, it's like I don't know. It's like there's nothing that I could really relate it to because it's so like it's hard but beautiful. It's both, you know. Like it's very difficult. It's got hard moments, but oh man, what a beautiful experience, you know. Like being alone for that long. That's the biggest thing too. It's like you really do become like I talk about this all the time, but like I tapped into these emotions that I've never experienced before. Like I cried, I laughed, I hallucinated, like. I never cried before. Like I kind of took like, I was like, you know, I thought that was kind of cool. I'm like, I'm tough, you know, but then the beauty of just crying. And I'm like, man, there was days where like I'd cry for hours, man. I couldn't help it. I'm just crying. And I'm like, but then you feel so good after, it's like, it's an incredible, and I'm sure you just did Kilimanjaro. I'm sure whenever you got on top of that mountain, like you probably had an emotional experience too whenever you got up there, right?
Oh yeah,
Like,
yeah. I mean, at the top of Kili, there's usually a pretty good group of people. I mean, it's a popular mountain. People are trying to get up there. And I remember I had my back to the people, and I was looking out across the caldera. And, dude, I was choked up.
I know. Absolutely, man. And that's what's
wiping
beautiful.
the tears off my cheeks. And
Such a beautiful experience, man. Like, and I feel like, like one thing I love about, you don't have to do a multi-day adventure, but like just getting outside and like going for a trail run or going to climb your local mountain or whatever. It's like, it's like, I think people take it for granted about being healthy and being able to do these things. And like, that's the other thing too, man. It's like, I recognize that when I do these things, like I put myself in these situations. Like people ask me if it was hard. It's like, it had hard moments, but like, how hard is it? It's like, I trained for it. I said I was going to do this thing. I got all the nutrition. I got all the stuff I need to get this job done. It's like, how hard is it? It's like I'm enjoying myself. I'm getting to explore my country with my own 2 feet. It's like I'm healthy. I'm strong. I'm young. I'm like, this is awesome. You know what I mean? It's like, and if you could, yeah, and if you could find joy in those things, it's like you could endure hard things, man. You could endure hard things for days. So,
I love that. One thing I've told a lot of people is that if you've never done any endurance type sport, first of all, try it. It's good for you. It does something for you, I think, that is really life. It's just formative.
Yeah.
But you get to a point where you're good and tired and you want to stop. When you get to that point, you're actually at the point where you can go for many, 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 many hours, and it doesn't really get much worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
like, okay, if you can endure, I really want to stop right now, you don't have to stop. You can just go, and you can do it.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah, absolutely. And it's like, and then, it's like, whenever you finish something like that, it's like, man, like you're just so proud of who you are and what you did and what you accomplished. Like it's, then like I have these opportunities like talking to, a great guy like you and being able to share my story and hopefully, inspiring the next generation or inspiring the people that are wanting to do these things now. It's like, yeah, man, it's fun, man. It's what I'm all about now. So,
well, what would your recommendations be for people who they don't want to set a fastest known time, no FKT business? They're not trying to be unsupported. They just want to go have a backpacking experience. So, between these two trails, what would you recommend?
What would I recommend? I would recommend just doing it and learning on trail. I think that's the biggest thing that I think people overthink things. They're like, oh, I need the ultralight gear. I need the ultralight tent, and I need the proper poles and the proper shoes. It's like, I learned on the Bruce Trail, I learned that I don't need socks, and actually socks gave me blisters. So I did the whole 900 kilometers with no socks.
Wow.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like you learn these things on trail, and like you only learn by doing it. So it's like I would just recommend anyone to go out there, and it's like don't overthink it, just do it. And obviously, like be smart about it. Like if you're going in a remote area, like have a satellite. Like I have a Garmin InReach, so like if anything was to happen, you hit that SOS button. I don't want people to go out there and just be stupid about it, but I do believe in just getting out there, just learning. Like for yourself, like I could give recommendations for days, but like at the end of the day, my coach gave me recommendations, and then on the IAT, I realized some of those things that he told me to do, I didn't like the backpack that he told me to get on my Bruce Trail was falling apart. And then I got a Durston backpack for the IAT, a Durston, a Canadian made backpack. And this thing was so tough. And I give a shout out to those guys. Like that thing was glued to my back. Like the Bruce Trail, I actually like on day 4, like there's a picture, I have it on my Instagram. Like I lost the skin on my back, and I had to tape my back with this Trail Toes tape, and that's because the backpack kept coming loose. So the backpack was like grinding up against my back. And then on the new trail, the IAT, I taped my back right in the start because like I don't want that to happen again. And the tape fell off after 5-6 days, and then like I didn't have the tape, and I was kind of a little bit nervous about it. But I'm like, But again, I wasn't, because like I knew the backpack was solid, and it didn't chafe my back. So it was like it was glued on my back. So it's like, man, it's like you don't know until you know. You know what I mean? So yeah, that'd be the only recommendation I'd give to anyone, is just like just get out there and just try for yourself and have fun.
Yeah, and be willing to try new things and to learn. If you listen to your body, you can learn a ton, and it's going to be different for everybody. So you learned a backpack that works better for you. That's one perfect example. A weird one for me is I can't wear synthetic clothing. I
Really?
learned that on a backpacking trip. People say cotton's rotten, and they laugh about it. And that all came from the idea that if cotton gets wet, it tends to stay wet. It doesn't wick the moisture away. So I carry an extra T-shirt. Who gives a flip? It's a couple of ounces. Now I'm wearing material my body responds well to. And
Is that right? Eh?
I only hike in cotton.
Okay, interesting.
And I love it, but that's me. Other people are fine in synthetics. But it's something that I learned. I mean, here's a quick background. I was trying to hike out of a deep, deep, deep basin, very, very steep, 12,000 feet. And my teenage son and my nephew were way up ahead of me, and they were leaving me behind. I said, man, what is going on? I realized I had a synthetic underlayer on, and I thought, something's wrong with this. It's just not right. So I took time to pull off that underlayer, and I beat him to the top.
Really?
And I realized, okay, synthetics and I don't get along.
Okay, wow.
You
That's
know?
that's really interesting, actually. You know, you kind of had me think there. I'm like, wait a second, is that what was going on with my back too? Because like even on the IAT, like I still felt my back was a little hot, and I'd really have to crank down the backpack. But I do know though that, like, you know, for me, like whenever you're out there, and it's like I kind of have PTSD with hypothermia, because like I got hypothermia on my I was out in Ashley Gas Bay. I did my first 100-mile race. It was out there, and I didn't have the proper clothes, and I was wearing like this garbage top and everything, and like the last 50 kilometers I dropped into hypothermia, and I was so determined to get the job done, and I did. But like the people on course wanted to kick me off the course and stuff, and like I was like, whenever I finished, my body, that was the worst shape I've ever been after anything that I've ever done.
Yeah, it's
and
dangerous.
It is dangerous. So like, you know, like I always carry a merino wool top and bottom.
Right.
Always. So like, you know, if I was to get cold and drop in hypothermia, I would just take off my synthetic layer and put on the merino wool top, and then put on my rain jacket. And even if the merino wool gets a little wet, it will trap the warmth, you know?
Yeah.
So I always carry that. But yeah, that's it.
Dude, we have blown through our time already. I just
really?
realized, I was thinking, okay, now what are we going to talk? Next thing, you just have so much energy, Cody, and it's a beautiful thing. And then I love the way that you're enthusiastic about what you do. That's really what our podcast is about. It's motivating people, inspiring people to try things, to find their thing, and it could be anything. It could be anything that takes you out into nature, gets you moving, makes you stronger, learn about yourself, have an experience, have some community. It could be any of those things. You know, what you're doing, I don't know, that's right down my alley, because I just love the idea of hiking and big hikes and nature and all that kind of stuff. Twice you mentioned hallucinations. I'm just really curious. We have to hear that bit before we end the show today. What happened?
Well, I mean, so on the IAT, so this is actually another really important thing. I got stories forever. We could talk for another hour, but
I know, easy.
On the Bruce Trail, I didn't sleep at all. I didn't. I did the first 7 days. I didn't sleep. The last 7 days, I was sleep deprived, so I was sleeping every time I would set up camp. But like I only had like 4 hours of sleep, and then like I fell behind with sleep completely. That I was like, I hallucinated every day on the Bruce Trail. On the IAT, what the difference was is I took magnesium. Magnesium's really important, and then sometimes I'll take a bit of Advil in the first few days, just calm my legs that were pounding. So the IAT, I slept like a rock every night, and I didn't hallucinate once in the IAT. But on the Bruce Trail, every day I would see, they're called micro hallucinations. I would see stuff. I would see people like applauding on the side of the trail, and there's no one there. And then the last 50 hours, whenever I was like, this is like whenever it got really bad, like this second night, whenever it started getting dark again, this is my second night going with no sleep, my vision started closing. And then whenever I was like doing the last push, I felt like I was running back and forth. And like, I look at my GPS, and I'm like, I was looking at it so many times after the Bruce Trail because it didn't make sense. I'm like, and I zoom right in. I'm like, I was moving straight, but it felt like I was going back and forth. and then whenever like it got really scary is whenever I started hearing my name getting called, Cody.
Oh no!
and that's whenever it started getting scary. I bet like you just like can't help yourself, but you have to laugh about it, and like you're not dead, you're still moving, and you just kind of have to like just shake it off and just keep going. So
it is a freaky feeling. I've experienced it a few times.
Yeah,
and I think your body's trying to tell you something, like maybe it's time to take a nap.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
because
what you're doing is you're sleepwalking.
Yeah,
I mean,
basically.
You're going down the trail, and you go into a quasi sleep state while you're still moving. And I have one funny thing to mention. Robin Benincasa came on the show years ago, and she was doing an endurance paddling venture in a kayak, and it was hundreds of miles. I forget how far now. But it was supported, so she pulls into a dock where a husband is like, okay, here's your snacks, here's your food, and she looks at him and she says, is there a witch sitting on the front of my kayak right there on the point? He goes, no witch is there. She goes, okay, good. I'll go then. And so she pulls out and keeps going. I mean, that's the kind of thing that happens, and I've heard of people talking about that. Some people hallucinate about food. It's like, oh, look at that. Someone left a turkey dinner right there on the trail.
Yeah, man, it's I'm kind of prone to it. Like I've definitely on these races that I've done, like the 100-mile races, when you don't get any sleep and you're still running, it's like I'm hallucinating. Like one time I saw Buddha on the side of the trail, like a straight up Buddha, like you know what I mean. And then like turkeys when there's no turkeys, like super strange stuff.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird when that happens. And I would also say, please don't do anything like this where the penalty is high. You know, I mean, if you trip and fall on a trail, that's one thing. If you crash your car, that's another. Don't push yourself this hard when you've got a dangerous result, potential result. So.
Absolutely.
Well, Cody, thank you so much. I love what you're doing. Keep it up, man. What's the next one? You have a plan for the next one?
Yeah. So I'm going to be doing the Vermont Long Trail. So this is actually considered a premier route on the FKT site, and I have to get like double verification. There's a lot of really big athletes that have done this trail, but they've only done it from a point A to point B perspective. So like I want to do is an out and back, unsupported. So it's 900 kilometers with 135,000 feet of climbing.
Oh.
So yeah, I got my hands full, but like. I just like from my understanding, what's really cool about this trail is that if I get this done, it will be the most amount of elevation gain for unsupported ever. So
nice.
That's a cool little stat that I found out. So it's gonna be tough, man. Like there's no question about it. I'm good. I got my hands full. Whether I get it, like I used to be very confident, like I got it, but now it's like I realize anything could happen. Even if I'm fit for it, it's like I could slip, fall, hurt myself. It's like anything could happen. So. I'm just doing the best that I can to prepare for it now. A lot of strength training, and yeah, man, that's it.
Well, more power to you. And as you've already learned, it's the little things that'll take you down, so be careful. All right, Cody, I know there are a lot of people out there that want to learn more. Maybe they want to tap into the coaching that you offer, or things like that. How can people get in touch with you?
Yeah, so I mean, I got Instagram. You could reach out to me at Cody Taylor Performance. The business page is at Live the New Normal. The website.
Say that one again. At what?
At Live the New Normal.
Live the New Normal. Okay.
Yes, sir. That's the brand. That's my company. Like we got the clothing, we got the coaching, and we got a website, findyournewnormal.ca. And yeah, man, like my wife's a nutrition coach. I'm a fitness and running coach, but basically we want to see people just like be healthy. And, just whatever it is, man, whatever your goals are, whether it's like running your first 5-kilometer race or running your first 100 miles or just like wanting to have more energy to play with your kids. You know what I mean? It's like we kind of coach all these people and just trying to make this world a better place. So that's what we do.
Awesome. For everyone out there, this guy's inspiring. So much fun to talk to people like this, but you may not want to run 900 kilometers with a 55-pound pack. Maybe that's not your thing, but there is something out there that you can find that'll inspire you, be so healthy. So until the next show, get out there and have some fun.